Hi, I'm Zach, and we're in this series called Why Believe. And I just wanted to share my personal testimony. And I think that in this series, me sharing why I believe might help you come to why you believe. And so I just thought that I would share this, but I thought this would be helpful. And so I'm just going to actually read from my journal. And this was written about a year ago. And I'll just read this a little bit. And before this year, I've felt lame spiritually. I've been a believer for years, so I knew that I was alive, but I didn't feel it. I've often been paralyzed by lust and fear. Spiritually, I was a beggar, relying on those around me to feed me. When my lust and darkness destroyed my relationships with several friends and my girlfriend, I knew I had to change. Those around me had filled me with lies. They had fed me lies like porn was fine. Jesus says, "But I tell you, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." That's Matthew 5:28. To God, even looking is a sin. And many like to say there's a gray area, but with God, there's no gray area. The sin begins at looking lustfully. I've tried many times to quit porn, and on my own strength, I continue to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. I actually failed, and I just remember praying, and I don't even remember exactly what I said in the prayer. I just remember wholeheartedly just desiring that God would make this change in my life. And immediately after the prayer, I ran to my Bible, and this was one of the first times I'd opened my Bible in forever, honestly. It was just collecting dust in the middle over on some shelf, and I just flipped open, and I flipped to Hebrews 12, and there's this awesome verse in there, and it's just making a comparison between struggling in sin and being physically disabled. And it says, "Therefore strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed." And in the same way, I was lamed in my porn addiction. But Jesus has a habit of making those who can't walk. And that's one of the really famous things that Jesus has done is just kind of is healed lame people and given the ability to walk up, and he would just say, "Rise," and they would rise up. But this verse talks about the disabled walking. But without God, that is impossible. But God promises spiritual strength to stand up and overcome even the face of being paralyzed. In fact, God gives us even more power to stand. Isaiah 40:31 says, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will walk and not faint." In other words, they won't fall back into sin. He will strengthen them so they may run and not grow weary, and will even soar on wings like eagles. And flying sounds like the complete opposite of being paralyzed, and that's the spiritual strength that you receive when you hope in God. But I'd like to think of eagles as the American symbol of freedom. And how great would it be to be soaring as a symbol of freedom from your struggles, from your trials, from your sin, from your fear, from porn and lust. For in 2 Corinthians, it says, "My power is made perfect in weakness." Paul's response is, "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly in all my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest in me." That's 2 Corinthians 12:9. And that's been a while since this has happened to me. And it's just awesome to look back on how I was saved and how God gave me spiritual strength with this fight against porn and my addiction and that. But also just how God pursued me otherwise. I remember I tried to go to a youth group, and I was actually so afraid I would I would park out front of the church, and I would just sit in my car and trying to work up the strength to get inside, and I wouldn't. I would just drive home. And I did that many more times than I care to admit. And I remember coming one week, and I finally got the strength to go in, because there's this awesome song on the radio, and it inspired me to go in. And then I kept feeling like the devil kept telling me, like, you're not good enough to be here. Like, you don't know enough Bible stuff to be in the Bible study. And, looking back, that's like such a dumb lie. Like, I mean, why would you be in a Bible study if you knew all the Bible? And so I didn't come back the next week, or the next week. And then I think it was about 3 weeks. Then God sent some Mormons to my door. And I was like, I don't understand what you guys are about. And so they gave me a pamphlet, and I was like, man, all of this stuff I don't agree with. And I ran to my closet, and I opened up my closet. I pulled my Bible out, which I hadn't picked up in like years. Probably had like so much dust on it. And I flipped open to Ephesians, trying to like prove this pamphlet wrong. And then I was like, oh, there's some stuff in here that's like, hey, Zach, like, you're doing some stuff wrong too. And I was like, maybe I should think about that. It's just awesome thinking about how God used these little tiny moments to draw me closer to Him. And so I hope that helps a little bit. We're going to continue this Why I Believe series. We're going to talk a little bit more about Jesus and why you should believe in Him, and why you should believe in a God, why you should believe in this at all. What benefit is it to you? And hopefully this series just encourages you, even if you are strong in the faith, maybe just to strengthen your faith a little bit more. So thanks for watching.